Okay, we're going to be doing NBT1. The main objective of this standard is to hit the place value and allow the kids to really see the difference, hear the difference, and repeat the difference. We're really wanting them to understand place value. You're going to start this lesson by just drawing one circle, one square, one triangle, one smiley face. Doesn't really matter, just to get them to see something is in the ones place. You're going to ask the question, I just drew a circle in something. How many circles do I have? And why does that category matter? They're going to talk for their partners for a second, getting them to communicate. And eventually you just want to get them to the point of saying there's ones, meaning there's only one circle total. You'll erase that. You can put it in here and say, okay, there's still only one circle, but did anything change? Let's talk. They're going to talk. We're eventually wanting to get to say, well, now this means 10. There is still only one circle, but that circle means a 10. To further drive home this thing, you can talk about dollar bills. If I have $1, but it says 100 on it, that means I have $100, even though there's only one piece of paper, and you're trying to drive home that idea. The next step or component to this is tell them as a class to count out loud all of the ones. And say it kind of like that, the ones. Because they're going to get a little suspicious and be like, wait a second, I think this is easy, but why are you saying it like that? And you're like, okay, class, let's go. And as they're counting, you're going to put the circles up there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And at this point, I want you to start pointing to here and get like a little smirk on your face as they're doing it. And the only point is to get them to kind of like, wait a second, why is he doing that? I thought I was doing okay. Point out that we're done. There's only 9 ones. And just have them turn and talk. Why am I saying that? Some of your kids are going to get it, some of them aren't. But what you're trying to get them to do is once you say 10, now we're not in the ones. Now we're in the tens. Now, how I like to teach this is I change my color. So right now I'm using red. I'm going to switch to orange. Because visually, I really want to drive home the idea that ones are different than tens. So now I'm going to tell them, okay, now let's count by tens and do all the tens. Again, saying that voice a little differently to get them to think about, what, there's a catch. There's something different. Here we go. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Again, have them turn and talk. Why was there only 9, and why did I start pointing to here? This time it'll be pretty quick, and they'll just be like, oh, because after 90 it goes to 100. Now we're in the hundreds place. Again, I'm going to change my markers. I really want to not only have them see it, I want them to say it, I want them to repeat it, but I also want them to have that disconnect from colors as well, just to really drive home that there's a difference. So now let's count by hundreds. Here we go. 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. Okay. At this point, we're going to switch because now our objective isn't just to drive home that there's 9 in each. Now we want to get into the more mathematical aspect that ones, there's 10 ones in one 10. We're wanting to get to that multiplicative aspect. So let's switch to that and add another one. So now that there's 10, and then we're going to draw a circle around it. We're going to call that grouping, and we're going to draw an arrow. Ask your class, why did I just circle 10 or group the 10 and draw an arrow to the 10's place? They're going to be talking. Eventually, you want to get into the aspect, whether you guide them, whether you hear it, that, well, now that there's 10 ones, we could say that it equals 110. And so you can go and say, so you're saying one orange circle equals 10 red circles? And they would say, yes, that is what we're saying. Now you're going to put numbers on it. We're getting past that, the little gritty. We want to get into that more conceptual aspect of saying, hold up. So you're saying that there are 10 times as many ones as there are tens. And they're not going to quite understand that concept quite yet, but you're trying to show it to them. And they're going to be like, yeah, I think so. And you're like, okay, cool. So now I'm going to move on and say, because if you're saying that's true, this must be true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I draw a circle around this one, I can draw a line and it would equal a green circle or 100. So you're saying that I could write 10 times. And they'll say yes. You're like, can you repeat that? Can you say that 100 is 10 times 110? I'll repeat it, and then everyone's going to repeat after me. 100 is 10 times 110. 100 is 10 times 110. Good. One more time. 100 is 10 times 110. 100 is 10 times 110. Now let's go back to here because we had said it, but now let's repeat it in that fact to get it really in our brains. 110 is 10 times 1. 10 is 10 times 1. 10 is 10 times 1. And you're going to drive that home throughout your place values to really get that aspect. You're going to finish this lesson by really going into that mathematical aspect with the multiplicative and the numbers. You're going to say something like, so if I had 9 tens, that would equal how many times more ones? 9 tens is 90 times more ones because there would be 90 of these to get to the 9 tens. To further get that and to use a manipulative aspect, you can grab your base 10 blocks and say you'd have to have 90 of these little cubits to make 9 of these sticks. But that would be how you would start your teaching for NBT1.